Hey guys, welcome back to Fomo, where we research everything crypto. Before I begin today's episode, I'd like to make a short disclaimer. I'm obviously not a financial advisor. That being said, take everything I say with a grain of salt and always do your own research. So, after having the AMA with Will from the Block Runner last week, I thought it would be an opportune time to make this video and summarize everything that happened. So for anyone that hasn't watched it yet, if you have the time, watch it. It's kind of long, but it's I don't think you'd get bored at any point. But for anyone that is short on time, I figured I'd make a video just so you guys don't miss out on any important content. So we discussed a few things, especially regarding the game mechanics. So I wanted to look at the battle mechanics first, go over that with you guys and explain what exactly is going on, and when you unbox your ROVI, what you're going to be seeing, and whether or not you should really be despairing, because I feel like a lot of people when they unbox it and get a low number, they get really sad right away, and you shouldn't because I'll show you why. Because you're most of you. I bet you'll be a lot better than me. I bet, and I'm still not even doomed in despair. So, looking at your battle stats, you're going to notice that there is four classes which determine your overall ability, how you're going to be performing in battle, and this is your base stats. For anyone that is familiar with gacha gaming, so this is basically your basic stats without any weapons, artifacts, or upgrades or anything. This is like a level 1, this is the character you get right out of just starting out. So his battery life is 414 out of 1,000, so which is in my opinion, probably its best aspect. He's got a 221st strength out of 1,000, which is his second best aspect. 28 out of 1,000 for defense, so no defense. So this guy is definitely not going to be a support, right? And he's got 156 out of 1,000 for intellect. So I feel like a lot of people will understand what battery life is versus the amount of battery he has. So basically at one point the ROVI will run out of battery, right? As he's battling, and he'll need to get charged. But that is different than the battery that is showing here. This is basically the battery life that it has. Like the amount of I should say, like the condition of his battery is like 414 out of 1,000. So most likely what he'll be able to retain the charge and how efficiently he's able to use it. I feel like that's what the battery is. Strength, I think, is pretty understood. Defense as well, and intellect. From what I understood from the AMA, this is what critical rate is. So imagine the extra little bonus you get while attacking. A certain percentage you get. That's what basically intellect is. So the smarter your ROVI is, the higher crit rate it has eventually, right? So looking at these two things, these are basically the upgrade materials, the power core and the metal hedrons. So you need both of these to basically upgrade your ROVI. And then once your ROVI is upgraded and mature, you're able to replicate it by using a replicator meta, right? So it's pretty intensive as the economy of the game goes, right? Yeah, it's not meant to be simple, because if it was simple, then it would get boring, right? So basically, to involve a lot of creators and just players and a lot of community interaction. Everyone that holds one of the mint ROVIs, well, I should say every wallet, because that's kind of how it was worded. So, you know, I don't want to change that. Every wallet that holds a ROVI basically is eligible for a land airdrop in the ROVI matrix, right? So basically, what they're trying to say is after all the 10,000 ROVIs are minted, they are going to be distributing land parcels of the game to the players so they can utilize it and basically build the world for their ROVIs to play in using all these metas and tools to basically further the economics, right? So as I was mentioning, these ROVIs have a certain amount of battery life, right? And they have a certain amount of battery as well. So as they are battling these viruses, by the way, in case you've never seen the meta for the viruses, this is what it looks like. These are glitches, right? So basically you're and also on top of that, you're able to own these as well. So you're able to own the enemy meta, and so you basically you can play for both sides, essentially, right? And basically, so let's say you don't own the meta, right? You just own the ROVI. So basically, you go on someone's land or something, and you encounter this meta, and you start battling it, right? It keeps sending wave after wave, and you gotta keep battling. It's going to end up dropping loot. And what loot is going to be looking like in ROVIs, because if you guys are familiar with play to earn on Decentraland, you already know what loot is. But for ROVIs, this is going to be what the loot looks like. It's going to be metal hedrons and power cores. Okay, this is going to be the loot. So you need this loot basically to upgrade your ROVI, like I was saying. Let's look at this one. Yeah. So to upgrade them, to increase its flawlessness. As the flawlessness increases, you can kind of get like a low-key boost on the stats, but they don't change, in my opinion. The flawlessness changes, but that's about it. And basically, that's kind of like the root booster, because after the basic stats, how you can enhance your ROVI is by using weapons and artifacts. So if you guys are familiar with, like I was saying, other gacha games, right? Like let's say, for example, Genshin Impact, right? You can equip your character with flowers or crowns or a bunch of different things, right? And you receive certain battle boosts through those things, especially if you have like a certain set, right? You receive even more of a boost. And if you have a certain weapon, you receive how there's a whole strategy of building basically a character. I feel like that's what they're trying to apply with ROVIs as well, and I feel like that's where it's kind of heading, right? Because once these are minted, they're minted. There's no going back, right? And it's not bad. Like, this guy's not bad. This guy's not bad at all. This guy has a really good battery life. His crit rate is really high. Strength is kind of on the low end, but defense is decent too, right? This guy's all right. This guy's all right. So, like I was saying before, when they're battling those glitches and those viruses, the wave after wave, you keep destroying to get that loot, you're basically going to eventually run out of battery. That's essentially the short-term currency here, is the battery. Battery is what you're using to basically earn loot. So after you run out of battery, you're going to need to take some gear tokens. These guys right here. You're going to take some gear tokens and you're going to go to someone's land and where they have a supercharger, right? There's 5 different types of superchargers. This is what they look like. Right? So there's 5 different types of superchargers, and essentially you need all 5 on one land, one piece of land, to make it like an efficient super farm. Like you can have isolated ones, but basically to encourage community in like interactions with each other and like cooperation, basically they said that if they have an incentive to get people to team up together, it's going to help the community grow, which I agree with, right? So basically, if you have friends that also play ROVIs and they have different superchargers, you guys can basically pull them together and have like a super farm. Or you can find a super farm that already is in the game and just attach yourself to it. And now you earn it too. And you guys can basically like share it. It's completely free economy, so expect chaos. But at least it's not a rug. And on top of that, it seems actually pretty fun, to be honest. It seems pretty cool. So this loot that you're going to be earning, right? And you're going to upgrade your ROVI. Now he's all upgraded and mature. You can then take him, and you need 2 ROVIs, by the way. 2 ROVIs. You take 2 ROVIs and you take them to the replicator. The replicator meta, you basically give them some gear tokens, and you give them your 2 ROVIs. Let's say these guys. So look at these guys' AI codex, right? So this guy has nothing repeating. This guy is impure. This guy has 1, 2. He has 2 numbers, or he has number 2 repeating twice. Okay, so that means he has a double pair, or he has a pair. Okay, he has 1 pair. So that basically gives him like 10% battle boost because he's pure. So as for the replicated ROVI, the one that we're basically gonna receive after breeding these guys, is going to receive this guy's impureness and his little bit of pureness, and he's gonna be like a mix, or he's gonna be like RNG. But I feel like it's gonna be very influenced because of how Will was describing it. I feel like it's gonna just use a algorithm or something like that to figure it out, and it'll be pretty interesting. So you got all these on-chain assets, right, that are looking very good, or I should say off-chain assets. You got all these off-chain assets that are looking really nice in the game. But how are we going to bring them on-chain to make sure that we can trade them on OpenSea? That's where the whole transporter comes into place. So when you want to basically take your assets and put them on chain, you go to someone's land and you find a transporter, and basically you give them some gear tokens and they transport your off-chain assets back on chain, so you can take them to OpenSea and sell them. So even the box that your ROVI comes in, it has a bridging use case. So never forget that. So HODL for life, guys. These are asset these are passive income creating assets, NFTs, not financial advice. Anyways, so like I was saying, right, those artifacts in that are gonna give you boosts and stuff. So this is what they kind of look like. So like see some kind of headgear, or let's see, like this, you know, your ROVI is equipped with something like this, and he gets a battle boost on top of, like, and it just compounds, right? So even if you have terrible stats, just because you can increase your base attack with these accessories, you're able to still make yourself be profitable, right? And that's what I think was very important, that, in my opinion, the call kind of clarified on top of that. So I think that's probably all that we can digest for today. If you guys do have any questions, leave them in the comment. And until next time.